is going to the proper place. Hello? Okay. Do, we are live.
Somewhere. There we go.
Yeah. Maybe just, since your microphone's on your camera, just project a little bit.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Checked it before.
Nope, your microphone has gone off. I can't hear you.
Oh, because I was testing it.
Oh, okay.
So it's supposed to be good.
Okay.
Really obnoxious sitting. Oh God. Fuck. Christ, ankles. I'm gonna give you a pillow.
Okay. Technical difficulties, everybody.
Hopefully get me high enough that I can be heard. Is this okay?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 pillows.
Two
pillows.
pillows. Two.
Okay. Good girls. I should watch us so I can see if people chat. Okay. There. Done. Things. Calm blue ocean.
Calm blue ocean. Now we talk about things that are fun.
It's a fluffy anime episode.
Yes.
Okay. We know when to go.
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. And welcome to episode 226. Hello, and welcome to episode 226 of Geek Girls, the Geek Girls podcast.
Do you need a second?
Welcome to episode 226 of Geek Girls. The Geek Girls podcast is supported primarily by our patrons at www.patreon.com/girls. I am Ray, and I am joined by my co-host Linda.
Hello there.
And today's topic is anime BS.
Also known as anime tropes, but we just call it BS because it's the same they're tropes.
Right, so before we get started, Linda, what have you been up to?
I finished my crocheted beholder, so got all his eyes on. Tiny, a little bit of weight in the base, but because there's so many eye stalks on the back, unless you balance it just right, it goes backwards. So it's fine. But I'm very proud of how all those little eyes turned out. Because again,
it's got lots of different eye colors.
Needle felting, stabbing things into existence. And then I made a Cuphead and Mugman. So if you're not familiar with there's a show that just came out, but it was a game first. And I just think they're adorable. So I think someone ought to like these guys, and maybe there'll be a fan of the show that'll be like, "Ah, yes, give to me." So
for Dark Souls, there was Cuphead.
Yes, they're very, very cute though, and like the way that it's made is they have like the warbly wibbliness to them that they do in the show and in the game. So I find that to be really funny. They don't stand on their own.
They are very flexible.
Yes, very flexible. Does not stand on its own. I had some friends over for a birthday celebration, one of which was Ray. So that was a lot of fun. We just kind of hung out and had snacks, and we were gonna play games, but we ended up just kind of like surfing around on Netflix, watching Helluva Boss, which is hilarious.
Honestly surprised at how many people had not seen it before, and I was very happy to be able to show it because
Yes, hilarious and irreverent, but it's basically about imps in hell trying to run a business. So,
business.
a murder business, yes. So, it is an animated show, but that's what you're in for.
You're in for some animated violence.
Yes. What about you? That's all I've been up to. Pretty short.
uh, so I finished Euphoria season 2, which I like. I like Euphoria. It's very. If you want a surrealist show, Euphoria is what you do. It's not a feel-good show, but everything it has that dreamy quality, like when you think back on high school, and it's kind of like this dreamy, but even like the bad parts have this like nightmarish feel to them, and I really like it. They did a
Interesting.
lot of visual homages to different movies and works of art, which I thought was really cool. And I liked the play. Um, Apparently, I've seen a bunch of YouTube videos having to explain the ending of season 2 and stuff, and I don't really get that. Like, I thought it was pretty clear, but then again, I liked Ava, the original TV series ended, so people like that either. So, I also watched Turning Red, the new Pixar film, which was adorable. I really did like that. Um, I I think it is a good thing for kids to watch, especially if they're under 13, 14. Because I think if you're 13, 14, it might be a little too early. But it's really good for kids to watch, especially get them comfortable with the idea of puberty and your body does weird things and it's just a thing. Also saw Fresh with my friends on Friday, which is a horror movie. It's a female written and directed horror movie about a cannibal uh, who picks up his latest by he dates women and then uh, keeps them fresh to send to other cannibals around the world. So it's actually really really good. As far as horror movies go, I like it.
Mhm.
It's not your average slasher fit. It's not too gory. And the third act, I was cheering the whole damn way. It was wonderful. Let's see. Then I managed to see my parents, and we also started our D&D group that was playing Strahd. We have started the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, which is right now we're at a Fey carnival. It's totally fine, guys. It's so whimsical. It's so happy, and nothing could go wrong. We bought tickets. We're going to all the things. It's gonna be fine forever.
Forever.
Ever and ever. Uh,
uh,
Pretty much it.
yeah, the words "fey" and "carnival" don't go well together.
Fine.
You say it's fine.
I don't really care. I'm not the brains of this operation. I'm the tiny halfling thief who stabbies things.
Fair enough.
Oh, and I can mention that later
Hmm.
because
Well,
I was working today on character for new Aeon game.
oh yeah, that's right. You're playing the Aeon game with us. Yeah, that's coming up. That's tomorrow.
So
So
we'll get to that later.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think right that we can get to our discussion topic, which started with an idea Linda had about just like those things, those weird things in anime that makes it very hard to recommend certain shows, or
But
just like to even recommend anime in general, because there's this weird there are weird tropes that if you're not familiar, just are very strange, and even if you are familiar, are still maybe a little weird and unnecessary.
Well, and it's I don't even know if it's a cultural thing. It's just kind of an anime thing now.
Yeah, I mean, like, now it's so ingrained that I don't even think it's yeah.
Cause I've seen web comics from like Korean artists, and they have the same tropes. And I'm like, it's not
Um,
just a Japanese thing.
oh, it's kind of like an expected thing at this point.
Yeah, and so like for example, we have a whole list of
We have a whole
ones.
list, which is by no means a comprehensive list. I
No,
literally,
these are just the ones that I think kind of annoy us a little bit.
yeah, the ones I put in, I literally just went to the Ranma one half TV tropes,
Hmm.
and just all the ones that are pretty prevalent in a variety of series, and I just put them there. So there are some that I'm missing, I'm sure.
There's a lot that we're missing, but so there's always communication breakdown, or not what it looks like, or poor
Poor communication
communication
too.
kills, or in general is just bad. It's like, speak to one another. In some of these animes, you are human beings.
It's just it's frustrating how often they just won't talk. Like there's a miscommunication or somebody overhears something and it's about something completely different. But then they have this and they have to talk to somebody about it, and it's if you would have just walked in the room instead of just hanging in the hallway like a lurker, just go in the room and talk to the person.
Don't be a
All
creeper.
this all this could be cleared up. Uh, if you have doubts about who was your boyfriend hanging out with, maybe just talk to your boyfriend. It's I know it creates good drama, but
Some of these shows don't need the extra drama. Some of these shows are dramatic enough.
it's just something that always happens every bloody time. And like the love interests will never actually just say that they like each other. They have to hem and haw and all about it for episodes upon seasons, and maybe even then.
Looking at you, Inuyasha.
Oh, Fumiko Takahashi, I love you, but you are notorious for this, and I hate it so much. Oh,
And leading into that is unresolved sexual tension for no reason.
again, communication.
Yeah.
Maybe if you like somebody, you should just say, I like you. You want to go on a date? Shall we get some coffee? Do you want to just be friends? No, just talk.
Let's just talk. You have voice actors, talk.
Use them. Use them for doing more than just screaming or singing battle phrases or whatever. Ah, just on the same level as all love is unrequited. He's like, oh no, nobody could ever like me. Again, just talk. I understand that most of the time, 90% of the time, anime is teenagers. When middle school, high school, notoriously a hard time to actually just express yourself.
Hmm.
But I don't believe it's as hard as they make it appear to be.
Yeah.
I really, really don't.
It's like I was that age once, and granted, I don't remember most of seventh grade because I blocked it out of my memory, but I, I, I think teenagers have the problem of oversharing. They talk too much. like they don't have filters yet because they're not grown up. And so I think you would have the opposite problem.
And again, that maybe that's more of a cultural split. But then
Maybe.
again, there's plenty of live action Western shows that also do the same thing, where it's like, oh, well, we can't actually express how we feel, or we have to draw out this romance for seasons. Ross and Rachel. It, it's just it can be very frustrating. It can be fine when done correctly, but it can be frustrating when it's in every show and the characters are just, oh, I can never be loved, or they're just completely obvious to very clear declarations of love. It's
Mm-hmm.
just frustrating.
Yeah.
Which then easily moves into convoluted love triangle. Again,
Yes,
drama for drama's sake.
because nobody talks, and oh no, he's talking to this other person, and what shall I ever do? Maybe I should go talk to my friend over there, and oh no, now he thinks something, then now that I'm doing some, oh no, and it's like, guys, aren't you boyfriend and girlfriend? Shouldn't you be talking to each other? Why aren't you talking to each other? Methinks something's wrong with this relationship.
Maybe just like I have a friend, or I am talking to my friend. Just not immediately jumping to the worst conclusion that oh they obviously love somebody else. No, again, communicate, communication. Ah. And then and then half the time, like okay, if it's a love triangle and they both like the same person, okay, fine. That can be a little tricky. It's your best friend and the boy you're crushing on. You told your best friend you like that person. Now everybody's after that same person. Again, communication can help make things clearer. But again, I understand it's drama to build up drama. It's not even just comedy or romance shows. This kind of stuff happens in the middle of freaking shonen battle animes
Yeah.
with the one girl. The one girl. There's always one girl.
I mean, even in like the clamp stuff, like the very sweet, like Cardcaptor Sakura and things like that, they have these. It's a slightly less intense version because they're younger, but it's there. And I'm just like, I know you're crushing on your brother's best friend, but A, he is too old for you, and B, you have freaking magical powers.
Ah,
Why?
then
Then
so
we.
this is kind of a more general this so those are things that are generally just kind of frustrating and annoying and are consistently repeated and a lot of anime shows. This next one I will say makes it a little difficult sometimes to show your parents or your friends that show that you like
Mm-hmm.
because there's a beach episode or a hot springs episode. Generally, there's just fan service. There's gynaxing where you have like dead or alive boob physics going on,
Yeah.
or like random penny shots. No reason. It's not necessary. But suddenly the camera just goes all the way down to a worm eye view and poops up. So you
There's
can see
even
the
it that
penis.
it's even in Sailor Moon.
It is.
In the 90s, I don't know about Crystal, but I know in the 90s version they had a couple of those.
They actually, with the when it came over, they erased the lines on the transformation. So like Jupiter's butt wasn't as cheeky
Yeah.
as it was before. They drew towels. They did this in Tenchi Muyo too. They drew towels on the girls when they're in baths or anything like that to try and or bathing suits to try and hide the bits.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I get it. We're a little bit more puritanical over in America, especially compared to others, but I don't think I'm wrong with the panty shot thing. It's the panty shots that bother me the most. The panty shots and the separate boob physics.
Yeah, it's like, who drew this? Who, you know
Like
that's not how they work, right?
like I like a good beach episode. Usually a beach episode or a hot spring episode comes like at a midway point and it's a break for the story. And characters breathe and you have some actual character communication or character development. And yeah, it's a bit fan servicey and cheeky. That's fine. But not every episode needs to have gratuitous panty cleavage shots.
Yeah.
And then that's the other thing that kind of annoys me is that it's mostly on the females and not on the males.
Mm-hmm.
I I have seen far fewer uh, anime, even anime specifically designed to be for the female viewer, swim, or free as an example, which is just about a boys' swim team. So they're in speedos the whole time, and I don't even think that's as gratuitous as some of the stuff I've seen in general.
Yeah, and some of it is dependent on who made the anime.
Yeah, like I said, they're specifically Gainax is notorious for
Mm-hmm.
it to a point where it's just called Gainaxing. Um, and then there's plenty of others that also do it. I love Devil Hunter Yoko. It is a magical girl anime that's a little bit more adult, but because it's a little bit more adult and she doesn't get the pretty colors covering her when she does her transformation scene, her clothes literally just fly off and there's just everything. Everything there. And I'm like, I can't watch this around my parents or tell my friends about this. I feel weird. I'm
Oh.
gonna watch her kill demons though, because I like that.
Let's.
Ah,
I don't actually know what the next one on this list is. Like this
so
one
the
you
next
you
one,
added, and I actually don't. I
yeah.
I'll probably recognize it once you describe it, but I've never heard it described as that.
So the next one I added was the butt monkey, which is basically uh, the person who is always the butt of demeaning jokes or actions,
Oh,
or
okay, gotcha, gotcha.
the one who's always getting picked on. Like, if I pull up the page, like they like immediately have a picture of Charlie Brown with Lucy stealing the football.
Yeah,
Charlie Brown is obviously the butt monkey. It's just
it's the
I
butt
I
of all the jokes.
butt of every single joke. Why are they there? They're just there for comedic of impact, I guess, to break it up, to be the
Mm-hmm.
comedic relief, and I just uh, it's frustrating when they're not an actual character, and it's just
They're just there for
off.
comedy fodder.
Yeah, that's all it is, and I just find it really frustrating. You can do better. You can make him a character. You can make us empathize with them. You can it and have them get like comedic revenge on the person who's always putting them down. Like, it's a personal annoyance thing.
Yeah. It's like, why have a character if they're not going to be a character?
And then I this one really really bothers me,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think it's quite as prevalent, maybe, or it seems to be less so. Thank goodness. But the dirty old man.
Oh,
I
yeah.
swear, in the 80s and 90s, every series had a dirty old man or just your random pervert. All they're there to do is oogle on girls or steal their panties or touch them, and it
Generally
is
be
just
annoying.
the worst.
Yes, yes, I have
I
a
just
cat. Hang on, I have to let my cat out of the room.
and
Hey, wrong side of the door, doofus.
what makes it worse for me is half the time they're usually the ones inflicting pain on the butt monkey.
Oh, yeah.
Which is just even more frustrating, and I don't get it. And sometimes it's a comedic thing, or it's like, ha ha ha, look at he's so funny, he did this. And sometimes it's like the girl gets the revenge and she punches him for doing that, but it's never nothing is ever resolved because he's always there. He always comes back. He always continues to do this bad behavior and get away with it.
Yeah.
And the the only one that I can think of, and he's not even an old man, is it's the worst character in Demon Slayer, and all he is a freaking teenage pervert. He just every girl he wants to hit on and be really gross and aggressive with, and they always punch him and He goes flying away, and it's supposed to be funny. And I'm like, this series would be better off without you.
Mm-hmm.
You do not need to be here. You're the obnoxious guy in yellow for all I care. I care more about the dude who doesn't speak in full sentences and wears a boar on his head than I do about you. You could die. You die.
Well, the one that I think of is actually from Dragon Ball Z. It's Master Yoshi.
Yes, that is actually who they have on the site. Is
Yeah,
Master
because
Roshi with Bulma, and I'm just
it's gross. It's a
it's
gross.
it's a gross trope. I'm glad it doesn't seem quite as prevalent as it used to be.
It's very
But
prevalent in like a lot of the '90s
I
animes and
I am
'80s.
over it.
Yeah.
I am over every single Hapasai or Master Roshi I see. You can do better. You don't need to do that. Did we lose one?
Oh, you hated it so much that you deleted
Oh,
Dirty Old
oh,
Man off of the list.
I did. Go me. Okay.
The next one we've got is filler episodes. Now, filler episodes sometimes exist for a good reason because you'll have an anime that's following a manga and it's taking the manga a little bit longer to come out than the anime because they're going at the same time. So, in the anime, they'll make filler episodes that don't really go anywhere. It's just kind of a slice, almost like a slice of life kind of episode, or they'll make in the terms in Sailor Moon, they made an entire season of filler episodes while they were waiting. Um,
Season. And
but
I would
hey,
argue
I I actually like the filler season of the '90s Sailor Moon. It's the Doom Tree
I
season.
was
It's
about to
actually
say, I
quite
liked
good.
Doom Tree Saga. I thought that was actually really good.
But it's filler episodes or episodes that don't really impact the overarching story. Um,
And unfortunately, any character development that happens because it's not canon,
gets
it's not
retconned.
following manga, it's easily retconned or doesn't really have much of an impact. So it can be really good and interesting, but most of the time it's also just frustrating. Like when when I was trying to get caught up on Bleach, like I watched all of Bleach, and I literally went to like Wikipedia and went through and just like removed entire arcs of filler because if they didn't seem like anything I was already interested in when it came to Bleach, I wasn't gonna bother with it because I didn't want to spend. I think Matt warned me about like there's a filler arc where it's just like a bunch of mascot characters, and I'm like, nope, don't care. I
Nope,
am
throw that
here.
right out.
Don't care. I am here for weird ghost land politics, and that's about it. If it's
Bleach is
Pentagon
a
or Ghost on 13, crap.
pretty egregious one. Dragon Ball Z is a pretty egregious
Yeah.
filler. The
Well,
the dude'll spend 4 episodes charging up a thing and then throw it and it doesn't work.
I
Um,
was about to say that is what how they kind of sidestep some filler episodes. It's like, hey, we'll just have Goku power up for 18 episodes.
yeah.
It's like, let's cut back to some other characters. Cut back to Goku. Next time on Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah.
Goku will finally defeat. Next episode.
It's just more grunting.
It's grunting, it's bickering, it's I need the planet to give me its power kind of thing. It's again, it's I understand where it comes from and it's really hard to not have any filler episode when you're following a manga and a
Mhm.
manga is released a chapter is released every month usually. Usually there's maybe about 2 years backlog before it gets picked up for an anime, and then the anime just has those 2 years plus to use that storyline to push on through. And so I think now that there's some creators that work more closely with the animation studios, so they can be like, okay, for your filler episodes, like just like kind of run it by me, and I'll let you know if like it's cool or not.
Yeah.
So like My Hero Academia, Horikoshi worked pretty close with the studios, so like the movies are actually canon. Like all of those movies are canon, as opposed to like other anime movies, which notoriously just aren't canon. They're standalone things. or their movies released to get people as an easy segue into the show.
Yeah. Like, I think all of the old Sailor Moon movies are technically not canon, but they could be.
Yeah. Like they have that feel. The second one, S, is canon.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a short story. That was a story that she wrote in the manga, where Luna falls in love. Super S is not, 'cause that's the weird. That one also is the one that gives me the most like Rainbow Bright kind of vibes.
Yeah.
Like I watched that one. I'm like, I swear I watched this movie in the theater when I was 6.
Yes, it's the Rainbow Bright going to the crystal,
The candy
the crystal moon or whatever it is, and I liked that movie. It was in the theater when I was very young.
And I will say the Sailor Moon R movie is like still my favorite one, and like easily the best way to get somebody who's like, watch Sailor Moon, start with this.
Yeah.
It clearly introduces you to all the characters and their archetypes, and gives you like, puts you in so you can easily then come in and see the rest of the show. And my cat is talking, so he apparently has opinions. But so sometimes they're really good like that. And like I said, I do like it when they become canon. Like there's been stuff that has happened in My Hero movies that has come up in like most recent chapters of the manga. Like it's related, and I think that's really cool when that happens. But filler episodes can be really hit or miss because again, at the end of the day, they're most likely not canon. Like Naruto is infamous for having a lot of filler episodes as well, because again, they outpace the manga.
Yeah. That's why some of these animes are so long.
Peace. I say that knowing that I'm slowly getting through One Piece. It's good. It's better than I thought it would be. There's a lot of episodes.
There's a lot of it.
All right, so the next one is kind of just more generic trope, and I think it's more of an anime trope. I've seen it in comics as well. It's Hammer Space. Hammer Space doesn't bother me that much. It's just basically when someone pulls something out of nothing. Where were they hiding that? Did they have that giant thing in their pockets this whole time? Do they even have pockets on that skin-tight bodysuit? I don't know, but suddenly they have a great weapon that they're using.
Yeah.
Or a plot device or something.
That's what every time, again, Sailor Moon, she pulls out like whatever staff she's got, and I was like, where was that? At least with the tiara, it makes sense. It was already there. She just took it off and threw it at somebody.
Hammer Space, I think, was coined out of the Ranma 1/2 fandom because Akane Tendo would notoriously just randomly manifest a hammer to smash Ranma, her fiance, for being what she perceived as a pervert, or just for like. Usually something would happen, and like suddenly one of his other fiancés, the man has a ton of fiancés, this is not by his fault most of the time.
Most of the time.
Again, communication.
Mm-hmm.
But like, say Shampoo suddenly jumped on Ranma and was like, and Akane's like loses her crap, and she's like, Ranma, you pervert! How dare you have all these girls? Boom, Hammer Space. There's a giant hammer. She bashed his head in.
It's just random.
It's a random thing. It's been delightfully lampshaded in Scott Pilgrim before, and it's just basically an explanation for. It was obviously in some sort of subspace compartment, right? So it's just this weird explanation for like, how did this character suddenly get this thing? I don't know.
Yeah, he has what is it called? And there's a word for it in Transformers actually, because the fandom was like, how are you getting these things out of nowhere? Because they would suddenly have weapons and things that didn't transform out of them. They would just suddenly have them, and so they came up with the term subspace. So they have subspace pockets. They just a pocket, and suddenly there's a giant weapon.
Goes with the filler. It's the "here we go again" trope, which is basically just a story or show that employs like an infinite loop motif, and in a way that it's just nothing really changes. Like
Mm-hmm.
each episode, and like what are the episodes about? Well, it's about this character and that character. But at the end of it, nothing really changes. So you can watch it out of order; it would be fine. If you watch it in order, I guess that's fine too. It's just there's no real growth. There's no real story development. It's just kind of more of like a like if it was a comic, I would say it would be like a gag of the day kind of thing.
Yeah, it again for the older Sailor Moon because, they were trying they had a lot of monster of the day or monster of the weeks, and I think that's kind of like similar. Um Supernatural did this in their first season. It's like there wasn't an overarching storyline for a little bit because they just had it. That happens with the older Sailor Moon where they have kind of monster of the week for a little while, and then towards like it's either like the beginning and end you get the overarching kind of meta plot, but the middle is a lot of just now we defeat this monster who's trying to drain everyone's energy. Now we defeat this monster who's trying to steal everyone's dreams.
There's maybe inch by inch you get a tiny bit of progress, but
Yeah.
again, and again that's something that usually happens just because you're stretching out the story or you're trying to not be filler but you're filler.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so uh,
Ouch.
the other one just kind of makes me think of thawed forever. Honor before reason. Like there's to be clearly a right way and a wrong way, but I can't do the right way because of my honor. Again, I am willing to say that that might also have more of a, as much as I might think it might have a cultural thing, it is. I think it's again one of those things just overdone for drama, the drama of it all.
Yeah.
Oh no, that would be the easy way out, and my honor will not allow me to do this. So I must go and do it the hard way, or I must go on this epic quest instead of just having, these birds fly me over to Mordor and toss the ring in.
Yeah.
No,
That's how you get evil eagles. Do you want evil eagles?
the eagles.
Nobody wants evil eagles.
Yeah, so again, it's just a good, honorable person is anything but easy. Personal sacrifices that most normal people aren't willing to make, either out of selfish interest, preservation, selfless, or any number of reasons. And they sacrifice themselves and just go above and beyond to do it the right way. And again, it's good TV, but sometimes it gets old.
Yeah. For those of us who are a little bit more pragmatic, we're like, could have just done the thing.
Well, maybe I'm watching too much anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Nah.
no.
So then we've got Maybe Ever After.
Okay, so again, that kind of falls into the earlier one, but it's when you get to the end, you're at the end of the series. The series has announced that it's over, it's done. They're not going to do any more. Do they ever wrap up that relationship? Do they ever make it clear that the OTP that they've been teasing, one true pairing, for those of you who don't know what OTP is, that OTP has finally sailed? That ship is now going the way it should be? No. No, we're going to ambiguously end this show and not give you any any resolution, any no kiss,
No.
no declaration of love. Just we're just going to end it ambiguously and
Sometimes they fix that with like an after like a movie. Sometimes they fix that with a movie, but sometimes they're just like, no, just suffer.
I might be bitter about this one. I love Rumiko Takahashi. She did Inuyasha, she did Lum, she did Ranma One Half, she did Mason Kuku, which I swear is the only one where they ever actually hook up. Um, but I am still bitter that I don't think Urusei Yatsura ended with a clear ending. I know Ranma didn't, because I have that manga. It still hasn't ended. It left ambiguously with them holding hands and walking off to school. All you needed was just let them get married or say I love you, or it's not like a tight hand holding. It's like a friendly hand holding, which is the most infuriating part of it. If you're gonna end a series and you have some stuff like that, maybe just wrap up the relationships. Just give us shippers something at the end. You know, maybe Ranma didn't want to be. Maybe Ranma wanted to hook up with Ukyo. Fine. I don't care. I just need an end.
Just pick one, damn it.
I'll write angry fan fiction about my ship being sunk, or just an AU where it doesn't exist. But I just need resolution, damn it. Don't give me this, oh, I'm going to come back to this series maybe in a few years. No, Rumiko, you're not. You never do. This is how we're in. Oh, I shouldn't say never. You did go back to Inuyasha because you did. But you didn't go back to Ranma. Making pointy eyes. Like, I imagine Rumiko Takahashi gives a crap about what I... Around the same time as Sailor Moon, there was Ranma One Half for me, and I was really into Ranma One. Have issues. Okay. Yeah, now we're kind of... This one is just something that happens a lot. Ambiguously absent parents.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the parents? Do these children not have parents? Again, majority of anime is high schoolers, but they're living on their own?
There is an astounding number of animes where the main character is in middle or high school and they live by themselves.
They just don't have parents for whatever reason, or they only have maybe one. And I'm like, okay, one is better than none, but I'm always baffled by the ones that are just, you never see them and they're never mentioned, so you're not even sure if like they do exist, and maybe because of the show you just never see the parents home the same time as their kid. I don't know. That can be a really weird thing. Again, majority of that is probably for story and drama, and you can't have, but sometimes it's really weird.
Because you just now some of us that grew up as latchkey kids are like, oh yeah, the kid gets home first, but there are some animes that are just like, no parents.
They're just never there. They're
It's
just
not
never
there.
mentioned. This character just spontaneously poofed into existence. Maybe somebody smacked their parent on the head and they felt fully formed at 13. I don't know. And then this one again, I don't get. And it is the sacred first kiss.
Oh yeah.
I don't know when my first kiss was. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you who it was. I have no flipping clue. But in anime, the kiss.
The first kiss.
The
It's something
first
to be
kiss.
fought over, apparently, if you believe Oran, host club.
Something to be preserved. Like, maybe it's like a virginity stand-in. I don't know, but it's like there's a big drama if somebody steals a first kiss, or my first kiss, or he was my first kiss, and it's just I don't get it. And then because of that, there's like indirect first kisses, and it's such a weird thing.
It's very weird. They go very a lot of emphasis. It's like, oh, it's an indirect first kiss, and I was like, what? What?
gonna go side tangent story. I met my now husband, then just some really cute boy who started working at the same place that I worked, and we had to do inventory. So everybody had to come and stay really late, and he came with coffee, and it was a mint chocolate coffee. And I'm like, oh, sounds fantastic. He's like, oh yeah, here, have some. And for the first time ever in my life, and I'm gonna blame this on watching too much anime and maybe having a really, really, really bad crush on him, my brain was like, no, it's an indirect kiss. And literally in my brain, I'm like, what the hell was that?
So I went off on I was looking up, apparently in Japan, the, like, culture of it is, I mean, public displays of affection have always been frowned upon. So a kiss on the lips is serious business. So apparently it might be a cultural thing.
Might be. It's just, there's a lot of emphasis on that. And
Lot of emphasis.
To me, to an American, it just reminds me of the emphasis on virginity, which I also think we put way too much on. It's like, it should be something that you do with somebody you care about, but I don't know. Like, people who are like, I won't date you unless you're a virgin, or I won't date you because you're not. That's dumb. That's dumb to me. But again, like I said, these are all my opinions.
Yeah.
Just particular things that I find very
weird,
or I feel like I have to explain to people before I can recommend some shows.
Yeah.
This one again is kind of like the parents not existing. You haven't watched Belle yet?
I haven't watched which?
Belle.
I've seen some musical parts of it, but
okay, but yeah, okay. There are parts of that because that's the most recent one, where like me and that we just turned to each other. It's like, are social services not a thing in Japan? Like, why do you not call the police? Like,
yeah,
I'm not like, don't get police involved in like little bits, like little tiny dramas, but like a large situation like this where maybe somebody's life is in danger, or you're
yeah, there are some like,
you call the police.
Yeah, there's some like kind of non-magical animes where, you know, it's one of the characters has like a hard home life, and you're like, call the police. You shouldn't have to put up with that. And I don't know. Maybe it's just again for drama.
Again for drama, or maybe there's something about like not reaching out. But I'm like, social services exist for a reason. You should use them when needed. Don't abuse them, but use them when needed. So, yeah, it's just a weird thing.
Yeah.
And then
the last one on our short, not fully comprehensive list, but one that we had to we had to mention is the tsundere.
I put tsundere, but I kind of mean all the deres.
Yes, there is a class of anime character that falls under one of the deres, which is obsessive, usually a girl, but can be a boy.
I because they were kind of like the first ones I ever really noticed, and
Mm-hmm.
if I had to be one, I guess I would have equated my high school self to a tsundere. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I mean tsunderes are kind of scary.
Well, they're not. Usually, they're not interested in the. In their default mood is they're not interested in the love interest,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe like they actually are. Or like, I don't like you, Baka, but then they'll do something nice to show that they actually care. And then there's other ones. There's God, Dere. There we go. Is that gonna go into all of them? Nope. But basically, there's this whole like subtrope of deres, and there's the Sundaries are the ones that are called the Nostand. They're the Oscasaurus, the Akane Tendos, the Lum. I think would have been an early Sundere. Someone who's very aggressive with their feelings, basically.
So, very
Um,
aggressive.
and then I'm trying to think of the one that is the like obsessive, scary psychopaths.
Like, I thought that was the tsundere, but I may
No,
be misremembering.
come on, where are the other deres? Look it up real fast because now it's gonna annoy me. I should have just put that in there at first instead of a tsundere. Dere type. Here we go. Ah,
Oh,
yandere.
yandere. That's right. Yandere is the scary one. That's someone who's aggressive and obsessive.
Yeah, those are the ones who are like, nobody else could have you but me. I'm the only one who can have your love. I will kill to prove that we were meant to be together. They're the really psychopath, scary ones. That's the easiest way to say that.
And they're not in every anime, but they exist.
There are a lot. The Dere, very energetic, kind, and caring. Tsundere, yeah. It's not like I gave this to you, Baka. Harry Song Hot and Cold defines them. Tsundere, which are usually shy, quiet, antisocial, like the very shy ones who are like, oh, I can't say.
The ones
like,
with blue hair. Those are the ones with blue hair.
Tsundere are the ones, because they're the cool ones.
Ah, yes. If you have blue hair in an anime, you are cool. You are you are a very cool character that everyone wants to know.
Distant and analytical. Let's see. Bakadere, which is clumsy, stupid, and lacks common sense. So like half of Azumangadayo. No. I love that show. Yeah, I think we went over the most common deres, and there's like even more sub deres. It just gets ridiculous. But those again, I don't hate them. They're just tropes that are very, very prevalent.
Yeah. So, I think even I'm thinking of like an anime that I know has some of those tropes that I would still recommend. For me, would be Sailor Moon, the '90s version. It is long, but it's really good, and it was kind of formative for me. I think I've mentioned that before on the show. What about you? If there's an anime that you would recommend, even though it has a lot of these tropes.
Definitely Ranma 1/2. I love it. It's so dumb. It's so frustrating. It gets very episodic, I guess. Whereas Sailor Moon has a monster of the week. Ranma will just has like a battle of the day kind of thing to be the world's greatest martial artist. And then he can also turn into a girl when hit with cold water. So there's like this whole other thing. I'm not sure it might have aged. I don't think it might have. It hasn't. I don't know. Like I'm not sure if it holds up now. This more like it's not. I don't know. It was just a show I really got into, and then my friend who I was crushing on also got very into, and like just a lot of us who were into Sailor Moon at the time also were into Ranma, and then so I would still recommend it. It is ridiculous, but it's kind of also lampshading some of the tropes as well. But it is called a sex comedy for a reason. It's not very because he changes sex, not because there's sex going on. Because God forbid they can't even fucking kiss. So, I'm sorry. I get one, right? This is like a PG-13. I get one an episode.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Oh, if we missed a particular trope that you find egregious or you just want to talk about, feel free to email us at geekgrills@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at geekgrills. So, Linda, what are you most anticipating right now?
Well, my birthday is coming up next week, so that's exciting. Maybe I'll get some cupcakes or something. I don't know. And then I'm gonna get to be playing the new Aeon game. That's why I made this squiddly, is to have it with me so people remember that I'm not playing a human in the Aeon game.
Squiddly.
I'm playing an alien squiddly in a biosuit that can punch through walls. So yeah, it's just kind of a not much happening this week, I guess. Not like, I mean, I'm excited for game, but and maybe working on some more crochet things, of course, because that's coming up soon. What about you?
Shoot, that one of our mutuals is shooting for a LARP. They need people to model costuming. So I am trying to go, now that I've gotten rid of a good chunk of costuming, trying to see what I have that will fit with the worlds that they gave me to help show. I don't think I'm going to play it, but I'm like, I like dressing up.
Yeah. Dressing up's fun.
Yeah, and then I am looking forward, since I literally just got the 11th hour invite to the game, so I am making characters now, actually, for that game. But that would be fun. That next part, me or you?
Oh, yeah, the next part. Your turn.
I always forget.
I can do it if you need me to.
So, remember, folks, you can always come watch us record live on twitch.tv/geekgrills on most Monday evenings. Next one will be on March 28th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will be talking about...
Give me a second. What are we talking about? I can't remember.
I'm pondering.
It's on our list. We have a list.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Hold on, I got this. What is it? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Women's History Month.
Okay, Women's History Month.
Ding ding, I got it.
Tiniest of delay.
Tiniest.
So feel free, come watch us live. We'll have cameras. Otherwise, you can just listen to our voices. And in addition to the subs and bits that we get on Twitch, we are supported by our amazing patrons, the greatest girlfriends on the internet. You can become a patron at www.patreon.com/girls. And don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub to us for free every month on Twitch.
And another way to show your support is by leaving us a review. You can do so on any of your podcast catchers. You can check out what topics we're going to do in the next month on our schedule below on our Twitch page, which I couldn't see, which is why I stumbled there. And if you're a patron, you can suggest a topic for us all the time. We'd love to hear your ideas.
And where can we find you on the interwebs, Linda?
You can find me on Twitch and Instagram under the name madcap_misc, that's MISC. You can check out my website at madcapim.com.
Ember can be reached at 9of12 on Twitter and Twitch, and on the Hearsay and Hearsay podcast. You can find me on Instagram under Dappledane, and on Twitch as Ray Ino. Thanks for listening, everyone. Good game.
Good
GG.
game. GG.
Diamond Cloud hopes you have some.
Alrighty. Bye, everybody. I'm going to stop.